Hi everyone. In today's video, I want to talk about an idea that is really typical to see out there in the online business, online space world, which is find your why. And maybe it isn't even always for online space. It's for anything that I've ever bought a course on. That is one of the very first units. It's like you got to find your why, and then that will help you to push through the difficulty and challenge that will inevitably come up when you are working towards your goals. So let's just take the online business example. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you have already been in this online business space before. Perhaps you've started an online business, or you have at least tried or dabbled in some kind of a side hustle. And maybe you've had success and maybe you haven't. But what happens is that the typical way that people choose their why will be something like this. I want to have financial freedom. I want to be able to live anywhere in the world that I choose. I want to travel. I want to have plenty of time to spend with my family or my children or my loved ones. And for me, for example, I wanted to spend more time rock climbing. I wanted to be able to travel all over the world and go rock climbing whenever and wherever I want to. These are all totally worthwhile goals and ideas to have in your mind for your why. But the problem is that what typically can happen, at least in my experience, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, is that you have this why, and then you're at the beginning of this, your shiny new course that you're taking, and the course might give you some kind of an outline that gives you a timeline even and says, okay, if you follow these steps, you will have the success that I have. So the financial success and freedom. So let's say you're learning to be an influencer and you're getting brand deals and things like that. That's a type of course that I have taken, for example, and I'll come back to that idea in a second. Saying, okay, cool, week 1 and 2, I do this. And then, for a month, I post 3 reels every day not 3 reels every day. That's kind of ridiculous. Maybe 3 reels a week. And I have, these are my content types and things like this. And you think, okay, cool. If I just keep grinding through this, then I will achieve this milestone and this milestone and this milestone, and therefore I will have this success. And then I can have the life that I want. I can have all those wonderful things, all the freedom, all of the time to spend with my family, time to spend with my dog, all those kind of things that I desire to have in my life. And what I want to ask you is, how has that approach been working out for you? Because I know that for me, having been through it several times, I had to come to a place where I cannot approach a business that way anymore. I know that I won't do it. Because the issue is that your why is all dependent on your idea of success in that thing that you are starting. So the definition of success is that, well, I must achieve this specific outcome, meaning I have to have this income level doing this activity that I'm doing, and then I can have the other things that I want to. And also, I want to bring in, probably a lot of you have known about manifestation, or at least heard of this at some point. The idea that it should just be effortless, like I should just be able to think about it and have it materialize in my mind. And even then, maybe you're writing down, like, okay, you're scripting and you're writing down things like, okay, I have this lifestyle that I see these influencers living, where they are traveling all over the world, getting my whole inbox is full of brand deals, like brands reaching out to me. I'm just using this as an example because it is a personal example that I have explored. Or it could be something more like, I have plenty of happy customers that are so happy with my digital products that I'm selling, and I get thank yous and things like that all of the time. And again, there's nothing wrong with those things, but it's that you need to check in with whether that's coming deeply from you yourself, rather than this image that's being given to you from out there in the world. And discerning between those two things is not always the easiest thing in the world. And what it takes is a slowing down and a presence. So over the last 3 years, I know that my very favorite, okay, so there's a couple of techniques, if you will. One is just sitting with yourself, spending time alone in silence with yourself so that you can just see what is in there. And over time, you will start to be able to discern what is actually your voice versus what's being given to you from outside. And my other very favorite technique is bullet journaling. I'm going to show you mine right now. And because I just think it's so lovely and beautiful. So it's just basically a to-do list, but in like a really pretty and aesthetic way. I like to use stickers and things like that. And I love it because it is it's a reflection of me in all of the aspects. It is the like, okay, these are the tasks that I, Erin, have decided to do on this week and this day, and I have it set up based on my own goals and my own needs. I have a whole course on this that you can check out in the links below, just basically all the nuts and bolts of like how to get started with a bullet journaling practice. I just freaking love it. I love it so much more than using a digital tool because, again, it's all about kind of like listening internally to yourself, engaging, and it's also like beautiful to look at. And I've created it myself, so it's a reflection of my creativity in the life that I've chosen to live. But back to my point. So what happens is that if you then aren't successful in reaching your goals. Let's say you're toiling away, you're making the reels, you're not in, maybe you are kind of having some fun and maybe you're not having fun. And if you realize that the fun and enjoyment mostly comes from getting likes and engagement, so this is the social media world we live in. So if those are the metrics of what makes it fulfilling to you, well, then you have to question whether that's real fulfillment. Like, am I doing this because I legitimately want to, or am I going to get depressed when nobody watches my reels? Am I looking at this and checking it all the time? Am I checking all the sales all the time? There's nothing wrong with having clarity on the finances in your business, but when you're kind of hanging your whole idea of am I successful or not on that, then that is kind of the issue. I don't want to say it as like issue as if it's some mega problem to solve, but I'm going to get to the solution here. The solution is a whole different approach. And this is what I really understand about manifesting and how it really works is that you become, by embodying that version of yourself that you want to be, living your highest ideal, not okay, that could be an okay thing to do as long as it doesn't take too much time so that I can then have time to do the things I want. No, your highest ideal is to have complete fulfillment in all of the areas of your life and just complete balance and a feeling of freedom and contentment and safety and security, all of those things. Notice how I'm not being extra specific about what it actually looks like. You might have some specifics about what it looks like for you, and it might be very clear to you, but if it's not, that is okay. It's okay to just start from, this is how it feels to live the life that I want to live. And then, this is again where I love bullet journaling, is I prioritize the things right now that are just supporting me currently, right now, my life as it is now. So, for example, I have a freelance modeling business. I am wanting to build a different type of business, but I know from all of those past experiences of having built other online businesses by just doing that hustling thing, that I will not do that anymore. I won't move that way anymore. I will slow down. I am slowing down and really listening to myself. So I would do the minimum that I need to do to keep my personal finances going. So whether it's your current business or your current job, and I take care of the things that need to be done in my day-to-day life. I really, really am vigilant about the distractions. So I noticed that when I would be really forcing myself to do things that I didn't. This is where you have to really discern for yourself that I really didn't want to do because they just weren't in alignment with me, versus the things where they are in alignment with you, but you have resistance to them because you have a little bit of fear of failure or something like this. So to use a concrete example from my own life, that would be, okay, I might put on my list of to-dos here for this week, make 5 Instagram reels for my travel influencer brand. That was a thing that I was considering doing. And I even took a course on it and all of the things. And I was like, okay, cool. I have the course. I understand how the process goes, so I'm going to just do it. But I was like, I'm finding that I'm not really making time to do that. And that's okay, because what I am making time for is the things that are important to me right now. I'm still doing like the thing that's actually already paying me. I am walking with my dog every day. I'm going rock climbing as much as I can. I'm stretching my body. I'm taking time to sit with myself. Because I'm already doing those things, I know that I'm already being successful, and that I just trust that the feeling of deep fulfillment that I want in my business and the way forward in that is going to come organically from me. And that is, of course, why I'm here making this video for you, because I just had a movement to do it. It's just like, this is how it works. You embody this version of yourself, and then you find that all of a sudden you're just doing it. You're doing the things that you want to do. And prior to recording this video, there was a bit of like, while I'm out taking walks, with my dog, for example, I'm typing notes on my phone. I'll get an idea and I'll take some notes on it and I'll think about it and I'll mull over it and let it go for a little while. And then it will come, and then I'll, decide that, maybe today I'll set up my camera and test out my new microphone or something like that. So it's just organically coming from a place of like, I want to do these things. And yes, I do write them on my to-do list sometimes, and I'm okay with scrapping them if I really feel resistance to it at that particular time. It's always about checking in with yourself. The approach that I'm taking now is, I can tell you that how it feels is 100% different from how I have approached businesses in the past, because I am making this video because I legitimately feel moved to do so, because I want to share this idea and this experience, and I want to share about bullet journaling, and I would love you to go and get my course. I would, because I just freaking love it. I mean, it gives me immense joy to look at my own bullet journal, and it's beautiful, and I want to share it with you guys, with the world. So that is a 100% different feeling from visualizing. I used to do this, like visualizing having an Instagram feed full of beautiful images of me traveling all over the place. And I want to tell you that I could do that. And I did do it because I was already traveling for my work. And I was already going to beautiful places, but it lacked the depth that I really wanted. So even though I was putting time and effort into making these images and they were getting likes, it was kind of like, okay, but what do I write here? I'm not really connecting with people. So it took a while for me, honestly, because I'd been into Instagram for so long. It took me a while to like actually scrap that entirely. And in fact, even deleted the Instagram app from my phone. I still check it for my modeling business. I still check it from time to time, once every 1 or 2 days, to see if I have any messages from people wanting to book photo shoots, but I only check it from my computer. And having removed that from my life and not constantly seeing the images of the life that I feel like I should be living, I can't even tell you what a tremendous burden has been lifted off of me. And Will I ever go back on that platform? I don't know. Only if I really genuinely feel moved internally to do so. So I can say that that's a really typical thing when you are in a certain career path, to think logically, what should I do that is based already on what I'm doing, like the skills that I already have. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I don't think that I need to continue Instagram just because I already know how to do Instagram, because if it really just lacks the depth that I want, which is what I get now for making this long form type of video, then maybe it's okay to just what is the fear I have around just stopping it altogether? Like just kind of embodying the version of me who just doesn't engage in that activity. How does that feel? How does it feel? Does it feel freeing? That's where you always want to check in. It's checking in with your body. It's like, okay, when I really have this, feeling of fulfillment, this is what it feels like. And then I choose the movements and the tasks that align with that feeling. And I want to tell you that sometimes those tasks, they just aren't that glamorous. And I will no longer forfeit my current joy for some future state of freedom and abundance. I will decide that I will live that version right now in the capacity that I can. Yes, I need to do activities still at this point in time that I'd prefer to just not have them anymore, but I just keep touching that. I keep touching that reality where, oh, I no longer have to do this activity. If, going to work, pitching brands, whatever it is that you're doing that you don't really love doing in your life and your business. For me, it's going and doing photo shoots, cold calling photographers and asking them if they want to shoot with me. I'm grateful that that is working for me right now, but I 100% know that there's already a reality where I don't have to do that. And I don't have to force myself through my actions to change it. I just have to know that reality already exists, and then live my life day to day without really kind of thinking too much about it. Because here's the perspective that I take on these things. Time's an illusion. All of these different realities, they exist, and it's all neutral. All of these different potential realities exist right here and now. There's a reality where I already have, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. And I know it's not, and I know it's challenging sometimes. It can be challenging to really kind of believe that. But, I just sit in that belief and that knowing. And then I know that right now, even the actions and the things that are happening out here in the world, they're just options. They aren't any different from what is in the non-physical, what is in, basically my imagination. There's not really, anything more real about the reality that's already manifested here. And so I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to worry about the fact that, I'm putting some tasks on my list that are I'd prefer not to do that. I just realized a point that I wanted to come back to was a task that I might have had resistance to in the past is something like making a budget or doing bookkeeping or something like that. And that's one of those ones where it's past version of myself would have said no, I'm just going to keep hustling and I'm going to really focus on this thing, on this building this new business and keep going in that direction. And then I'll clean all this other stuff up later. And that's just not the approach that I will take anymore. And I'm finding that it's the key. It's the answer. It's when I don't know what the next step forward is, or I'm not feeling really strongly that internal movement forward, then I rest and I shore things up right here where I am. And shoring things up might be sometimes doing those basic tasks. Let me, tackle my bookkeeping or my taxes, or really getting super clear on scheduling all of my credit card payments, things like this. So I'm specifically talking about finances. Or maybe cleaning my house and my environment. It's a thing I used to do where I would be so busy and focused on sitting at the computer and grinding away on whatever side hustle I was doing or whatever my newest business venture was, that my external environment would just get really cluttered and dirty. And also, I maybe wasn't eating very well. I would grab the fastest thing. So it might be that the thing that you need to do is to step away and go do groceries, go shop for groceries and things like that. And this is where again, I think the bullet journal is such an amazing tool because look at my list of things to do today. And even recording this video was just something I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to do that right now. It was just a little bit of a spontaneous idea. But I was like, okay, I'm going to check my messages from photographers. I was in the middle of doing that and just feeling like it was kind of a grind. I can safely put that off until after I'm done recording this video. No problem. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to go to the grocery store. And then I'm going to do a photo shoot later today. So I have to drive to that and go do it. So it's just a way of like organizing things so that I don't get so sucked into distraction. And even work can be a distraction. Peeling myself away from the computer and away from doing just one more task on the computer this is where the bullet journal has really shined for me, is to get myself to put it down for now, to say, I love myself enough to step away from this for a little while and go do a stretch. Or right now, go record a video real quick and, just to do that. Because that's the way that I want to live. I want to be making things that feel really true and good for me. And I want it to easily fit into the flow of my normal day-to-day life. And I'm just embracing basically the basicness, the basic bitchness of my life as it is right now. And that is what I encourage you to do. So it's such a radical change from being sucked into the external glamour of the way that I used to live an online life, especially as a freelance model and dabbling into a more influencer type thing. I'm no longer posting stories every day. I'm no longer, always seeking this external validation. Do I want to connect with people here on this channel? Yes, I do. But this task that I'm doing right now comes from literally, this is me already living what I want to. It's already fulfilling. It already comes from a place of being that person. So what I want to leave you with is just a recap that instead of pushing forward with a new business venture, when you're feeling that kind of like resistance, really stopping, slowing down, shoring things up right now, trusting that you're not going to get there faster by doing more actions faster out here in the 3D. This has taken me so long to learn. But I loved the way that one of my favorite YouTubers put it. She's called Rituals by Michaela, and I can put a link there below. And she said that she heard in a meditation one day that energy moves faster when you move slower, or energy moves fast when you move slow. I might be butchering her actual quote, but I love that because that is so true. It's that you're breaking out of the idea that taking more action faster is actually going to get you there faster, when it really is not about taking the action. It's about taking action is important, but it's not just about that. It's about being. It's about being who you want to be right now, and trusting for the universe to just give you the things that you need taking care of your life as it is right now. Why not have fun and romanticize it a little bit by embellishing it with, fun stickers and everything? That is why I love the bullet journal. Also, just to get all that stuff rattling around in my head, like all, you know what I'm talking about, these basic tasks, like, oh, I got to return the modem to the, internet company, and like all that stuff that you just want to make sure that you're on top of your adulting tasks. And then you get to move forward as like a whole version of you, like fully, instead of kind of shooting out there ahead and moving in the wrong direction. That is the best way to waste your time, is to just like push, 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 only to realize that you're going to come back here anyway. You're going to come back here. You're going to come back to the desiring more slowness and fulfillment anyway. So just start here now. Start here now. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. And again, if you want to check out my bullet journaling course, it's in the link below.